American tour operator Bradley Paumen owes Iranian businessman Michael Modiri $300,000. In 2016, Supreme Court Justice Shona Griffith ordered Paumen to pay Modiri $150,000 for trespass and another $150,000 for damages. Those monies have not been paid, so Modiri sought the court's assistance to enforce the ruling. Modiri's attorney, senior counsel Oscar Sabito, successfully convinced Justice Griffith to issue an interim injunction, freezing the assets of Sabun Grain and Cattle Limited and Indian Creek Equestrian Center Limited, companies in which Paumen has shares.
So we are in the court asking the court to go behind the veil, to pierce the veil of the companies Mr. Paumen has, to show that Mr. Paumen is really in control of the shares that Mr. Modiri wants to attach and charge so that he can collect his monies. So it is a matter of going behind the veil of the companies. There are two companies, Sabun Grain and Equestrian. Those are two companies. The companies that own the lands that surround or are next to or abut Mr. Modiri's lands are those two companies, which is Sabun and Equestrian. Those two companies are the ones that own the lands, and so the judgment would have been enforced against them and against the shares that Mr. Modiri has in those companies had those shares been available. But Mr. Paumen had transferred those shares to an employee, and so we want to go behind that transfer to expose by the piercing of the veil that those shares really belong to Mr. Paumen, and therefore they should be subjected to the charging order and the sale of those shares. And Mr. Paumen is in effect abusing the personality of the company, the entities, to hide his shares to avoid the payment of the judgment. So in effect, he's frustrating an order of the court.
Paumen's attorney Esteban Pereira disagrees. Pereira says that Modiri has not taken the proper steps to collect his $300,000.
Our position is we don't know why they came for this injunction, because Mr. Paumen nor the other defendants have any interest in transferring any of the shares. But I guess it's a measure that they felt was necessary.
From what the attorney explained, it seems like if though Mr. Paumen is playing hardball with the payment, any reason was given to the court why that payment hasn't been made as yet?
No, my instructions and from what I know, Mr. Paumen is not playing hardball, and we believe that the claimants have not taken any of the necessary or proper steps to get paid. There has been indications from our clients to start making payments to them. None of that has gone anywhere, and so we're at a loss as to why they find that this is necessary. But no, Mr. Paumen is not making it difficult for them to collect. As an owner, he has no intention of transferring any shares that he has, but in this case, or his wife has, or anybody else has in the company. They're saying that there are several shareholders in this company, but neither of the shareholders, any of them, have indicated or made any indication that they wish to dispose of their shares.
I think they mentioned Mr. Ak.
Yes. He holds some shares in the company as well, yes.
So he too as well was prevented to transfer any shares?
Yes.
Sabito says that after reviewing substantial arguments, Justice Griffith recognized the legitimacy of his client's case.
The fact that the court has granted the injunction today, in a sense, shows that the court feels that there is a sound issue here as to the ownership of the shares being hidden, being used in a sense by putting them in somebody else to avoid payment of an award of the court. So in effect, the court doesn't take lightly frustrating orders of the court, and we feel that this is what is happening here, and so we're trying to find ways of going behind the veil of the company, because sometimes companies are used wrongly, but most people use them for protection, but they can be used wrongly to hide, to be able to evade judgment, enforcement of an order of the court.
The case was adjourned until October. Reporting for News 5, Hipolito, Novelo.